there, Queens. I'm Christina Walker.
And I'm John Stamp.
Welcome to Studio Q.
Q.
John, what's up? How come you didn't say welcome to Studio Q like you usually do?
Well, I'm a little bit sad today.
Oh, well, why are you so sad?
Well, I missed my bus, it's cold, I deleted half of my art project, and I'm starting to think to myself, why even do my art project? We're all gonna die.
Why are we? There's no giant cockroaches crawling around, John. I think we'll be okay. It's been a good year. John, here, take my tea.
Thank you.
It's warm. And warm your heart up.
Maybe.
Well, maybe some arts and entertainment will help John out. Dan got a chance to catch up with Single Thread Theatre Company. Let's go see, okay? Come on. Huh?
We've had a good year.
Hi everyone, this is Dan Wallace outside of Wellington Street Theatre, where Single Thread Theatre Company is staging their latest production, a dream play. Tell me a little bit about Dream Play. What's the concept?
I guess it's about one man's dream, and essentially the daughter of the gods comes down from heaven to see what life on earth is like, sees that it's terrible, and goes right back. I mean, it's kind of like a dream, you know, how you're dreaming and it makes sense at the time. It makes sense when you're in that moment, and then, like, when you're looking back on it all, you're like, that made no sense whatsoever.
I guess the big challenge was how everybody dreams differently. Sometimes people think that dreaming is based off of reality. People think that it's based off of what's going to happen or what has happened. So we had to sort of decide how dreams work first, and then we had to translate that into the story.
It's funny, I mean, the show, I would say, does not truly hit you until the last 10 minutes, and then you're sitting there and you're watching the writer, you're watching Agnes, and I don't know what it is, suddenly the place that they're in seems so still, so silent, and it all kind of comes together. I find the last 10 minutes just beautiful.
Help me! I can't hear anything anymore. I've lost contact. I'm stuck here.
I see this year, Single Thread, you've done Henry,
yeah.
You've done Everyman, and now you've done a Dream Play.
Mm-hmm.
Is there sort of a common link between these three productions?
Well, I think the common link between the three productions this year would have to be the fact that every single one of those productions, I think, asks and engages the audience to think about life right now. Henry being set in Montreal during the FLQ crisis had a very Canadian political slant to it, so I'd like to think that it encouraged people to sort of reflect on what it means to be Canadian, and just to sort of take a look at Canadian politics and Canadian history, because I mean, we are in Canada. So there was that. So Henry sort of asked a lot of political questions. Everyman asked the universal question of, what is a life well lived, what is important at the end of everything, what ultimately matters, which is a universal question, I think, that applies to everyone, regardless of where they are geographically. And lastly, a Dream Play, sort of on a similar Everyman line, sort of questioned what is the meaning of life. The great thing about the three productions is that I think everyone that walked away that did engage in the three pieces probably had a unique answer, but I'd like to think that they might have not have delved into those questions and issues as thoroughly unless they came to see the show.
Both Henry and Everyman, we had really interesting responses to the shows. For Henry, I mean, there were like all these angry letters in the Journal for a few weeks, and like it was like people were like, "You can't burn a flag" and all this stuff, and that definitely offended some people.
It was definitely a consideration we put on Henry. I mean, presenting a pro-sovereigntist slant of the FLQ crisis. I mean, understandably so, angered a bunch of people. What you need to do is present an issue, and maybe the most common way of doing that is in theater is you have a bunch of different characters, have a bunch of different viewpoints on what the meaning of life is, or how pollution is affecting the environment, or et cetera, and then you put it in front of people and you make people watch these different sides of an idea, and you make the audience reflect on their own on their own ideas and choose a side. But you don't give them one side; you give them everything, and then they will decide.
What do you want to give the audience?
I want to give them a punch in the face that says, realize what life has to offer you. Yes, it's hard being alive, but take ownership of your own life and make something out of it, and don't just do what you think you're supposed to do. Do what you have to do to make your life worthwhile.
I honestly believe that theater can make the world a better place. So, I mean, by honestly believing in that, I mean, that makes me excited. An audience member came to see one of our shows, and she sort of looked up at me and she said to me, you know, that was incredibly profound. I've never seen such a powerful piece of theater. It changes the way I look at my life. It looks at the universe, like looks at how I'm going to live my life, and like, thank you. I will never ever forget this.
Theater has got to come to a place where people are like, oh my God, this play's on. Like, I crave the sex, I crave the passion, I crave the energy that I'm going to see. I crave the liveness that I'm going to get out of that experience. And they seek it out.
For anyone who's interested in Single Thread, you can check out their website, www.singlethread.ca. Liam, I just want to thank you, and make sure to watch for future Single Thread shows.
When the night feels my